Happy Wednesday. Thanks for all who just joined us. Um, so my opening question today is, what ignites your soul with passion today? What is it that gets you out of bed early and keeps you up late at night? For me lately, it's been this idea of self-reliance, and especially in the area of food security. So growing a garden, building a greenhouse, building thriving soil has been where a lot of my focus has been going lately. Karen also says her garden. I love it. Shelly says life coaching and hypnotherapy. Cindy says working with my parents, helping them help their families. Debbie says urban homesteading. Yes, it's incredible how generous and bountiful the earth can be, even if we only have a grow tower. Has anybody researched those grow towers? It's basically using hydroponics, and it's just this vertical column that it just cycles water through and nutrients. And then you can grow so much on those grow towers. So yeah, they're the earth, if we're good to it, it is so good to us. Mama Nature is so gracious. The universe is kind. Albert Einstein said the most important question we'll ever ask ourselves is whether the universe is kind or not. And so cool. Yeah, so I don't have a whole lot of deep thoughts today, just the idea of nourishing relationships, nourishing soil, nourishing yourself, doing the slow and steady things. As far as announcements, we're halfway through, well, we're most way through the May Up Level 21 challenge. And I think they're opening up registration, or not registration, but at least wait list for June. So if you're ready to take your health to the next level, jump onto uplevel21.com and get on the wait list for the April challenge or the June challenge. Gosh, I keep getting my months backwards. So we have heard amazing results. In fact, I just got a story this week of a woman, a mother who went through the challenge 1 month. It totally turned things around for her. It was exactly what she needed to have just enough accountability and just enough of a system to hold herself accountable. And she had such great results that the next month, she led a group and invited, I think her son and her husband both led groups themselves through the challenge. So just so fun to hear the small hacks that people are using to invest in their future, invest in their habits. Habits are the hack, right? If you can hack your habits, then you're going to reap rewards for decades. So yes, the website is uplevel21.com. So yeah, Jeff is talking about clean water. There are so many ways that we can create self-reliance. And I love how doTERRA does that, right? It creates financial self-reliance. It helps us create community, right? And so there's social self-reliance there too. I'm so grateful for this community and for the way that we feed each other. And yeah, so many different dimensions. Okay, well, I would love to open it up to Q&A. So if you are on Facebook, go ahead and, or sorry, on Zoom, go ahead and raise your hand and we can bring you on live, field any questions, and just work through what's coming up for you. You can also put your questions in the chat, and happy to answer any and all questions. Some of you may have noticed that in the background, what you see right there is flat concrete that was just poured yesterday. So we finally have a deck around the pool, so that's exciting. Natalie and I talked about up-leveling Experience doTERRA, and so we'll have the same schedule that we've always had, start Friday at 2, finish Saturday at 2, but then maybe we open it up to pool time after that. So as you're launching your new builder, you can be doing that poolside instead of in a big conference room or event center. Karen's asking, when do convention tickets open up? They opened last Wednesday, I believe. So they've been open for a week. If you haven't bought your tickets, grab them now. They still have early bird pricing available. And yeah, come play a convention. Natalie and I have been talking to our new Thai team, our team in Thailand, and it's gonna be fun to host them. We're getting plans finalized to host them for convention. All right, Becky is saying, I'd love to hear any ideas for how to connect with people in the summer. Seems like people are busy. It's hard to get people to come to classes. So I'd like to make this a group conversation. So go ahead and put in the chat. What are your strategies for maximizing summertime? When historically it is a little trickier to get the same level of attendance in classes. So what do you do? How do you maximize your building activities, your inviting, presenting, enrolling in summer months? So Shelly is saying online classes. I love that. KT is going to a career fair. So yeah, there's lots of social gatherings, right? There's all kinds of state fairs. There are, 4th of July gatherings. Most cities have their own little celebrations. And so those are great ways to connect with people. Summer is also a great time to have play dates in the park. So just organizing like, hey, mom's in the area. We're going to come together and do lunch and learn in the park, or just keep it simple. Just like, hey, let's bring our kids and meet up. And while you're talking, that's a great casual time to ask about their health, ask about their, what's coming up for them, what are their unmet needs, and then start serving them from that place. We've had great success with classes in the park because everyone has kids. Well, not everyone, sorry. In the summertime, those of us with kids need someplace to go with those kids. And so meeting up in the park is always a great way to connect in the summer. You've also got a lot of family reunions. So those are wonderful opportunities to find out where people are, what needs you can serve and address while you're having the barbecue for your family reunions. Let's see what else people have put. Farmers markets. Yes. Great idea. Farmers markets are lovely in the summertime. Okay. Kathy is saying workshops, make and takes. Yes. So summer is just a great time to get into full creation mode, right? Something about the season just makes you want to, make a garden, build something in your yard. Like it's just this amazing time. So workshops, spa day, spa night, doing make and takes, all the DIY, right? Like there's so much we can do to pour into people. I can't remember if I addressed this a while ago, but we had the whole spa theme was really popular for a long time. And a lot of people had great turnouts, but a lot of people struggled to get enrollments. But we have a leader on Amy Fulmer's team who is still continuing to crush it with her spa classes. So basically she says, hey, come get spoiled, and while you learn. And so there's a focus on, we're going to pamper you and you're going to be learning. And so she basically teaches a natural solutions class while people are getting, foot baths or putting on the, you can have one of those massagers. You could pass around the massage gun. And then obviously putting oils and all the things, oils in the foot baths, oils with the massage gun. So they're getting spoiled. And if you don't have some structured learning, then there will be, without the structure, without the straight up invitation to get the tools in their lives and in their homes, you will have a low close rate. So great ideas with spa nights. Yeah, pool party with foot soaks. I love that, Bobby. Great question. Julie saying, can you please share the trainings and dates you were doing the week of convention? Okay, so great question, Julie. So if you'll go to sharesuccess.com/convention, you'll find all of the things that we're doing. So I'll just walk you through that. In fact, maybe I'll share my screen as I'm doing so. So here is our lovely convention calendar. Really handy to be able to download and print that out just to keep track. Natalie and I are such visual people. We just, if it's not visual, then it's almost like it's not real. So on Wednesday, we're having an emotions breakthrough training. That'll go from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then there are lots of different things. You can go to the marketplace if based on rank, open to everyone after 1. And then there's a leadership showcase, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. I think that's where they have the recognition, people of different ranks. And then there's an essential oil symposium, which I believe this is the first time, or one of the first times they've done this. So this is an add-on. This is not free, but I think it's a pretty inexpensive add-on to your convention ticket. So, and this is really targeted at healthcare professionals. So if you are into that, like if you want to hang out with doctors and chiropractors and massage therapists, great place to do that. But it's going deep. This is like a deep dive into science and how we use oils in the healthcare space. They're also doing campus tours on Wednesday. And then Thursday, we've got just convention, right? General session in the morning, breakouts in the afternoon, gala in the evening. Friday is pretty much the same. But then Friday nights is team parties. And then Saturday, we've got Move for a Cause in the morning. And then they finish, I believe, at 1. And so we're going to do an open house in the afternoon. And then Sunday, we like to take those who are interested on a little tour of the most historic part of Salt Lake City. And it's a little area called Temple Square. So, this area was settled by members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And they've created a beautiful, it's under construction right now, but there's still the conference center, which is probably where we'll spend most of our time. But then we'll walk around the Salt Lake Temple and just kind of talk about the history of the area. And yeah, that's a really fun way just to connect and get to know the history. So those are the events around convention. So come play. We love convention. Okay. We have some great chatter in the chat. So good questions, and I love we're getting answers coming through there too. So be sure you're reading that. Somebody asked if we're starting the pool this weekend at Experience doTERRA. Unfortunately, the pool will not be done yet. So we think in the next couple of weeks it should be wrapped. We're not making any promises, but coming soon to a pool near you. Okay. I saw a question about Tracy. She said, I'd like to make my business more fun. Suggestions for creating community again, please. Awesome. So go ahead and put in the chat, how do you make your doTERRA business fun? What's worked for you in making it not a chore, not not drudgery that you have to clock in and clock out, and not pushing a rope up a hill. What works for you to make your doTERRA business more fun? Becky says challenges. Yeah, how do you make your doTERRA business fun? I think the answer, if I were to answer that question, I would say it depends. It depends on what's fun for you. Natalie is one of those special people, and I put myself in that same camp, that is a bit of a workaholic. We love to create. We're just addicted to the process of creation. And so connecting with people, finding out what their needs are, making strategies with them to create new and better results, that lights us up. We could do that all day, every day. And so that is fun for us. I know that there are some people who they just love people. They just love they're the extroverts. They fill their batteries by being around other people. And so the networking is the joy part for them. So joining networking groups, going out and just doing the things that they love to do, and meeting people that way. Some people are doing that through yoga. Some people are doing it through workshop or booths, expos, those kind of events. Just it's the social that fills their cup. There are also people who they're just really good at the training part. The part that maybe they're not great at the first connection, but they're really good at the follow-up. And so what making doTERRA fun is really just going to start with self-awareness, getting to know your own personality and what makes you tick is going to be the gateway, the linchpin to making it fun. Great comments coming through. Yes, so many ways to make it fun. Okay. Jeff is asking, where can we find doTERRA mentors? Our silver and gold uplines are not ones to follow. They're how-to. Well, the cool thing about doTERRA is it is filled with service-minded people who just love to connect and serve and swap mentoring. So you could keep going up and up and up through your upline and looking for mentors. But honestly, what I would suggest is just putting it out there, like here on this call, and also through the Facebook groups. So they have, I think they have a general business Facebook group, and then they have the, I think it's by rank, and I think they've clumped them together. So I think there's a gold and platinum Facebook group. So I would just join those groups and just say, hey, I'm looking to swap mentoring. Maybe I want to do an accountability group. I'm happy to lead that. I just need a group that we all hold each other accountable and just go through a vetting process. You know, you might have to talk to 3, 4, or 5 people before you align with a mentor. But the fact is, like, you don't need any kind of high-ranking person. You don't need a professionally trained coach or a mentor to be an effective mentor. You just need the will, and you just need the structure. So I would say just jump in, put the word out, and it's amazing how many willing people there are out there to be accountability partners, to be, you know, we call them workout partners. And yeah, that can be so much more fun. I mean, honestly, that might be the answer to the earlier question of how to make it fun. Do it with people that are doing it, you know, that have similar goals. You know, maybe some people are like, hey, I'm looking for a group of builders who just want to run this summer, you know, like, let's take the next 90 days and just maximize it. And so that might be the whole, the lifespan of this group is like, hey, let's take this 90 days of summer and let's hold each other accountable so we don't, you know, just slip into full party mode all summer. And yeah, just make it happen. It does take initiative to start the group, to start the accountability. But once you're going, it's one of those habits that is worth hacking because it pays for generations, for decades. Marina's asking if you can join those Facebook groups if you're not a gold yet. I don't know the exact rules, but I'll bet if nothing else, you might know somebody who's in there. And so you could ask them to make a post for you. The fact is you don't need a gold though. So the only reason I would say use that group is if you are gold or platinum. If you're a silver, then use the silver group, right? I'm not familiar with all the groups, but just search doTERRA and the rank, and I'm sure you'll find lots of groups, or even just doTERRA Builder. We even have a group, I think it's called doTERRA, oh heck, it was like a challenge group. I'll look for it and post. Okay. Oh, somebody was asking for the link to buy the oil symposium. So that is an add-on. So as you're registering for a convention, it'll be one of the upgrades that you can choose. And somebody posted, I think it's $30. So, all right. Yeah, there is power in working with your sideline. Something about only working with your upline, it can turn into this like weird energy of I need this from you, or you know, you need this from me. And so the cool thing about Sideline is there's no strings attached, right? Like we're only here because we both want the same thing. We both want accountability. We both want growth. So do not underestimate the power of Sideline partnerships. That is the culture of doTERRA. It's the soul. So please take advantage. Awesome. So the builder reach. Okay, so Michelle is saying that she registered for Experience doTERRA, and then she saw that there's also a builder retreat. So the builder retreat is a little deeper dive. There are parts of the builder retreat that overlap with Experience doTERRA. So, like for example, Friday afternoon, when we do the tour of campus, both the builder retreat and Experience doTERRA both do the tours. When we come together and we tell, the leaders are telling their stories and we're talking about the business, that's combined as well. Both, so it's super powerful. But then Saturday morning we separate, and then the first part of the builder retreat is obviously it's separate as well. So it's not redundant. If you want a deep dive, the builder retreat is fantastic. The builder retreat is targeted more at those who have been in doTERRA for longer, whereas Experience doTERRA is targeted more at new prospects or people who are thinking of stepping back into the business. So those are the loose guidelines, but you're not, there's no redundancy. So if you sign up for the builder retreat, you're gonna have a great experience. You'll get to know the emotional breakthrough process. And so definitely, yeah, there's no downside to registering for the builder retreat. By the way, all those links are at sharesuccess.com/events. So if you want to get registered for either Experience doTERRA or the builder retreat, or the global rank retreat, which we're doing. Did I mention that? Oh, maybe we haven't got that finalized from doTERRA yet. Okay, so I probably should announce this because it's not official yet, but it looks like we're going to have space at the convention to do a rank retreat before convention. So I think it'll be the same time as the oil symposium. So yeah, that's something else to be looking forward to. Okay. We also have European convention next week, and we're doing an emotions training there. Okay, Jean is asking if you already bought your convention ticket, is it too late to buy the oil symposium? Does anybody know the answer to that? I'm not totally sure. So if you know that, go ahead and answer that. Jeff's asking, how do we get a picture of our upline family tree? So I know that in the back office, you can see their names and contact information, but I don't know that there's a photo. Like I don't know if it's a photo of your upline people, if that makes sense. So I was just going to check my back office. Does anybody know the answer to that? Stephanie's asking, do we have any essential emotions trainings this summer? Let me pull that up as well. If you go to essentialemotions.com/events, you've got the listing of everything going on. So yes, we do. Let me go ahead and share my screen. So we've got, like I mentioned, we've got the event right before European Convention next week. Every Thursday, we've got the Move with Joe that's going on. This is a powerful process for releasing emotion, processing emotion, especially stuck emotion. And so we do that every Thursday, 9 a.m. You can join us here live, or you can hop online and watch it on demand. In terms of in-person events also, we've got the one-day Essential Emotions coaching training on July 18th. And it looks like we've got another one later, but as far as summer, those are the live events that we have scheduled so far. And then I was going to see, has anybody posted how to see the upline? Team. Let's see. Team map, graphic tree. Tree, my team. Okay, I'm still looking for that. Sponsor. Yeah, if anybody knows how to see your upline. Yeah. Okay, somebody's asking, I can see my upline and downline, but not my sideline. Yeah, your back office is not there to be able to see everyone in doTERRA. It's there just to see your upline and your downline. So you'll need to go to social media to find Crossline. Okay. So Christina says she can see her upline. But yeah, there's no picture. So Christina, could you walk us through where that upline listing is? She says wellness advocate downline in the drop-down list. Huh. Okay. Well, sit tight while we figure that out. All right. Any other questions? How can I serve you today? You can raise your hand or post it in the chat. I'm going to mute while I check our Facebook questions. Okay, still waiting. Okay, Pamela on Facebook is asking, do we know when the Power Me program will open up to all? I don't know the answer to that question. Super excited about the potential there, but I don't know the answer to that question. Okay, Tracy's asking if I want to comment on the announcement earlier this week. Yeah, so doTERRA has had amazing growth. We continue to have great growth in lots of areas. Unfortunately, as we were staffing, from a corporate side, we kept growing more than we were growing in the field. So our staff, our corporate employees, grew to the size to be able to staff a $3 billion company. But currently we're not there. We're a $2 billion company. And so if corporate were right sizing properly, they would have trimmed out 33% of all staff. But But doTERRA takes such good care of everyone, their wellness advocates and their employees, that they didn't want to do that. And so they were very strategic. They did lots of surveys. They spent hundreds and hundreds of hours of just interviewing and finding out, where we have redundancies, where can we make this ship more lean to match the size of our sales volume right now. And they were able to only cut 7.3% of jobs instead of 33%. And so that's, they call this a RIF. It's a reduction in force. And lots of companies do it at least once a year. And most companies are doing it to this, to the tune of 20 to 80%, regularly you'll see that Google or Facebook is laying off 20, 25%. X, formerly Twitter, laid off 80% of their workforce. So we're not even anywhere in that ballpark of adjustment. Account managers are not gone. Obviously, with that 7%, we did lose some of them, but no, account managers in general are not gone. So that's a high level overview of the restructuring that took place. We're super sad to lose some of those people. We've had such incredible growth and a journey with all those individuals. So they'll be missed. So we're Natalie and I have been brainstorming with some of them about their next steps and how to launch into whatever's next for them. Jeff says, on sustainability, what do you and Natalie do with the empty bottles from years of oils and supplements? Our recycling only crushes glass for reuse as landscaping. Wherever you, if you live in an area that offers glass recycling, I think that's the highest best use. We love to repurpose the bottles for blends. So like anytime we're making a custom blend, we'll just use an old bottle for that. It's especially great with the roller bottles. So that's our favorite way to repurpose them. I've seen some people make Christmas ornaments, they just put a paper clip on the top and hang the oil bottles from the Christmas tree. I've seen some people just put a row on their shelf as decoration. There's a million things you can do. Just sky's the limit, right? I love your question, Jeff, and I love your line of thinking, which is how can we make less of a footprint and leave no trace, right? That's the goal. Zero footprint. So great question. And for those of you who are into gardening, I just have to geek out because we used to recycle our cardboard, and we still do, right? We still recycle it, the stuff that we can't do this with. But for gardening, cardboard is one of the best things you can do. You just lay it out, so you flatten it, you lay it out flat, and then you cover it with as much mulch or wood chips as you can. And over time, what you'll do is you'll create a worm colony underneath that, and it'll kill off any weeds in the area, and it'll start building really healthy soil. And so the worms will eventually eat through the cardboard. They'll work their way up into the wood chips, and over a year or two, you will have the most incredibly rich microbiome of micronutrients and all the good bacteria. You'll get the healthy fungi down growing in there, and that'll just be this rich network to plant whatever you want to do. You can do flowers, you can do a garden, you can do a cover crop. So cardboard is, we have this stack that's about 7 feet tall right now of the cardboard, because we just did some big events. And anyways, so cardboard is a gift. So don't just recycle your glass bottles, also recycle your boxes from doTERRA. Shelly's got some great ideas too for recycling your glass bottles. KT says, what are the biggest challenges in opening a new global access market? How have you created success in this area? So great question, Katie. I'm just going to say Katie because that rolls better. So let me show you the website that we built to explain global expansion and the phases that doTERRA goes through. So this is at sharesuccess.com/international. And it basically covers how we expand and the stages that we go through in opening those markets. So the first phase that you see on the right is global access, right? This is where people can set up an account, but we don't ship there yet. And we don't have any kind of presence, and we don't pay directly into people's accounts yet. So obviously, since that's global access, it's your challenges are getting products to your customers. The first challenge or opportunity is finding customers and finding builders. But the next one is getting product to them and getting payments to them. doTERRA will put commissions on their AR balance as they earn commissions. But if people need to get paid, then that's on you. And so you'll need to use some kind of service like ProPay, or we use a service called Wise. I think it's TransferWise, to send payments internationally. I think you can use Western Union or some of those services as well. So as far as getting product to people, you just get to be creative. Every time you make a trip there, bring product with you. Every time they're coming to visit you in an open market, make sure they're filling their suitcase. But there are also freight forwarders that you can use. The most popular one that I know of is called myus.com. And so myus.com is a great freight forwarder. So basically what that does is they give you a US shipping address, but then in your account, you tell it where to forward that to. So it can get a little pricey if you're starting to build a lot of volume in a market, but it's a great way to just get the ball rolling. So in the global access phase, the products aren't registered yet, but we've got huge teams in most of these markets already, even though they're not open. And you just have to jump through the hoops, be creative, have a long-term vision, and make it happen. The next phase is called NFR, and this is not for resale. So this is where we've started to set up operations. Maybe we've registered some of the products, or maybe we have a small shipping center, but it's not fully opened yet. People can receive products now, so they can order directly from doTERRA and get it shipped to them in an NFR market. But it's there's not going to be a fancy office, or not all the products will be registered yet. So here's a list. A lot of the EU basically functions as a NFR market, but EU is a little bit special. And then the fully open is the last phase. This is when we have an office. that serves that country. We're shipping there, we're paying everyone. I mean, we're paying them the whole way through, but it's the methods of payment are more direct and simple. So that is a quick overview of the phases. Tips for creating success in these areas. You just got to be committed. What we found is if you're going to open a new market, ideally you'll want to live there for 3 to 6 months to get things open and going. We don't recommend going there until you have strong prospects, like a solid handful of leaders who are ready to build. And then you'll probably want to visit 3 or 4 times a year for the first few years, just to build momentum. And then in order for it to sustain, you'll need to have really, really strong leaders in those markets. So those are my high-level tips for opening new markets. It's very expensive. It often doesn't pan out. Sometimes it's such a long process that it's tough. And so we've launched in we launched a team in Philippines that we invested probably $50,000 into, and there's nothing to show for it. None of those people sustained. At one point it was a gold organization, but it's crumbled to zero. So just go in to those foreign markets knowing that it's going to be hard, it's going to be expensive, it's going to take a lot of commitment. Natalie was on Zoom with our Thai team from midnight until 1:30 last night. So, time zones are a real thing. Connecting with our Australian leaders is the same thing. Like, it is really, really hard to stay in tight communication and truly serve. So just go in eyes wide open. Just don't buy into any kind of fantasies that building a global team is fun, easy, and yeah. I mean, Jeff says start with Mexico. It's a fully open market. A lot of it's in the same time zone as us. So start in your backyard. That's my top tip. Start with if you're attracted to the Vietnam market, start by talking to people from Vietnam who live in the US or wherever you live. That's going to be your fast track to building a strong, sustainable global team. So, great question. Okay. Yeah. All right. Any other questions? Did anybody figure out where the link is to view your upline? I'm kind of curious myself now. It's one of those hidden links that you only use like once every 5 years, so they don't put it front and center. Anyways, if somebody finds that, go ahead and post it. I'll bet I could Google it and find it just as fast. All right. Well, any other questions today? If not, thank you so much for being on. Thank you for being on purpose and for being intentional about the way you live your life. The fact that you're here, the fact that you're in such an intentional company, even the way they handled such a hard thing this week, it was so intentional. It was not handled like a bunch of investors who are just doing things to watch their bottom line. It was, it's not done like a public company would have handled it. It was done with so much care, so much respect, and just doTERRA cares. And I know that you're here because you care. So thank you for everything you do to lift, to empower, to love and serve the world. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week.